Hello everyone, I'm Vinny, the owner of The Knife Guy, and today I'm going to be going over a 6-month review of the twice as sharp scissor sharpener. So a disclaimer, so there's no clickbait. I think this is an amazing sharpener, so you can get my feedback right now, so you don't have to wait till the end of the video and wondering if I like it or not. I love it. There are some drawbacks, and there's a lot of pros to it as well. I'm going to go over the whole specs list of what's going on with the weight, the size, what I dislike about it, and what I do love about the sharpener. Also, a disclaimer, I went to the sharpening show in Reno, Nevada in October last year, and me and a couple other sharpeners got this at a discount. And the catch was to give a honest a review. They didn't tell me to be biased to say everything that's great about it. They said just be completely honest about it. And so I got this at 40% off. So just a disclaimer on that. And they did give me a discount code if you guys want to, Vinny10, and you can use that for 10% off when you buy it at Wolf Industries. And that's it. Let's get to it, guys. First thing we're going to talk about is the cost. This professional model goes for a little over $500. I paid 40% off of that because they consider me an influencer, as much as I hate the term, but they did ask me to do a review video, which is I did an unboxing video and a few uploads as well using the twice as sharp. So hitting my obligation of what they asked me to do, but still giving my it is a biased opinion of what I like and what I don't like about this, but they said just to be completely honest. So not hyping this up 1000% because this is not perfect. There's still improvements, but just wanted to give you guys a little input of being like the cost and being transparent of what I paid. So this is 12 pounds as well. So pretty sturdy, you know this ain't going nowhere when you sharpen, so you can put a little pressure into sharpening and you're not gonna rock this thing. This thing is made out of very strong, very good material, and it's built in the US, which is awesome. The dimensions, 9 inches tall, 9 inches wide if you had the wheel covers on, and about 1 foot long, including the length of the angle adjustment arm. So very compact. I put it underneath this rolling desk just to save space, and it's perfect. You have 2 types of voltages. I have the 110, but they also have a 220 volt as well for a little bit more horsepower if you want that. Talking about horsepower, this is a 1/4 horsepower machine, and the wheels are 5 inches. I was trying to find how fast it spun. I think it was a little over, the speed. 3,450 RPM. So it's not a slow bench grinder, so you do have to be cautious not to overheat knives, but for what it is, for this little compact machine, it's pretty awesome. So there are a few different models out there. The purpose of the professional model is to sharpen fabric shears and household shears. They do say that you can sharpen cheap, it actually said on their website, cheap dog grooming and hairstylist shears. I would not, because using this one creates a beveled edge, and usually for the even on the cheaper models for the dog grooming and hairstylist, you need a convex edge on it. So even on the website they say you can use it, but I only use this for fabric shears and household shears. So I did upgrade like the wheel, and I'll talk about the upgrades in a second, but standard, it comes with a 100 grit wheel, and usually the fabric shears and dog grooming shears are very thin and not a lot of metal. So having the 100 grit wheel, I think will just overheat it going 3,500 RPM. So I would not recommend that. So now let's talk about the cons I have of this. My biggest one that I hate is this clamp. I did upgrade this here Usually it comes with a little wing nut clamp like this, and I never thought it would be an issue, but sharpening 10 to 15 knives at upholstery places, turning this little thing over time and tightening it does become like a real pain. So I did upgrade 2 of them with this lock lever, which works out amazing. So a lot more leverage and not as much pressure to actually tighten it. The con that I hate about it, this is like the standard clamp. What I hate about it is they don't give you this ergo grip. You actually have to buy this. So they give you a little thumb screw essentially that looks kind of like this with 2 other notches on it. And it's just not comfortable in your hand. But the main thing I don't like about this clamp is that, yes, you do have the angle settings here. So you have the angles right there. And then when you sharpen, you put the scissors in, and then if you have to adjust the angle, you can just move it up and down. The thing is, this is not always smooth, and there's no micro adjustment. So when you put the scissors in, and then you do your scratch test, and then you pull it out, okay, it's not the right angle, try and move it half a degree to 1 degree, just moving it slightly up or down. You don't always hit the next step up. Sometimes you overshoot the angle that you're sharpening, and it creates so much a pain. Like it's not comfortable. It's just a pain to get precise on it. I wish they had a micro adjustment. I wish there was some sort of like wheel that you could get this into your gross adjustment. Like, okay, I'm in the area, and spin this somehow. Then you could raise it up ever so slightly to what you need and somehow lock it. I wish I had some sort of micro adjustment. That is the biggest gripe I have about this machine. They marketed this as a professional sharpening machine, and once you set the angle, it sharpens very, very well and very fast once you get the angle. With practice, it takes me about 5 minutes to sharpen one pair of scissors, and for being a professional model, I go to these fabric upholstery stores. They have 10 to 20 scissors. Just can't sharpen them fast enough while maintaining a good job and making sure they're very sharp. So I wish there was just a faster way with this clamp that can help me, because I can get into the general area of hitting the correct angle, but if there was a micro adjustment just to go up a little bit more, then that would make this clamp amazing. So that's another gripe of just, you can't sharpen fast on these. Their website, when I went to the sharpening show, they were in transition of having another person come in and work on their social media. And their website from when I first saw it a few months ago to now looks 100 times better. The flow is a lot easier to find out if you need scissors or tools to buy. It looks really good. It's still a little confusing in the sense of, if you want it twice as sharp, there's different models out there. So when I wrote my con list, it was about the prior website because it was way more confusing. The standard machine, they have the industrial machine, and then they have the professional. I'm like, what is the difference? And I'll go over the standard right now. So every machine has the 100 grit wheel. Every machine has it except for the Kami Gold. That's different. But the only thing that changes is this polishing pad. That's the only difference that I was curious about. Oh, that I didn't know about on this machine. So on the standard machine, so you still have the 100 grit wheel, but it uses a different buffing pad, and it leaves a nice cosmetic finish, but not a high polish like how this one is. That's the only difference. So it's a less of a grit. This grit here on the professional model is 600 grit. I believe on the standard could be like 300 or 400. So you're just not having that higher polished look. That's all. On the industrial one, there's still a polishing wheel, but it's further down and dirty sharpening, where you just sharpen and you still hit this side. It's a lower grit, so it doesn't create a polished edge. It still doesn't take long to use this when I sharpen on the professional model, and in the people in the industrial field at the fabric places actually enjoy having a polished look. So I don't know why someone would get the industrial. You don't sharpen much quicker than using this guy. And you have the professional model here. So you still have your 100 grit wheel, but then you have a 600 grit polishing wheel. So between the three models, I would still go with the professional, just because the polishing wheel is higher and it gives you a better look. You don't sharpen any faster, I feel like. So why not get the higher polish? And that's what I would go with, is the professional model. So this is a very expensive machine. It's over $500. I do have my discount code Vinny10 that will give you 10% off, but that'll still run you over 450 bucks. I've definitely earned my money back on this, sharpening all my scissors. So it definitely pays for itself. And I think you are getting a very high quality machine, even though I'm having some cons for it, but it's an investment. That's all this is. I added this light here. For the price of this, I wish it had a built-in light. Having light when you sharpen anything, knives, scissors, it's fantastic. So I did put this light here to help see better, creating that burr. But I've seen lower-end bench grinders that have a built-in light, so it can't be that hard. It is nice, though, if this ever does die, the light itself, it's cheap, you replace it. I don't know how much of a pain it is if your bulb goes out on the built-in machine, so maybe that's why they're not doing it. But it would be nice to have some sort of lighting when you sharpen. I talked about this before. For the price, I wish they just gave you the nice ergo grip. Really, like it's wider so your hands don't cramp when you tighten it down on the scissors. I just wish they included that and you didn't have to pay an extra fee. All right, guys, that's all the cons I had about this. And now let's get to the pros on why I actually love this machine. So I was talking about customer service. Every time I would call them because their website was confusing, I spoke to someone right away. You don't have a third-party person from a different country that is in charge of different businesses. You talk to people right away when you call them, and it's everyone who works at the company. So for a pro, having people who are knowledgeable about the machines that work at the company is amazing. So their customer service is 5 stars. I love that. The precision that this sharpens at, once you find your angle, these arms are rock solid. They swing very nice. There's no there's no grit to it. Like, it's very smooth and it leaves you a perfect angle. So you can come across perfectly every time. So once you find your angle, sharpening is fantastic. The versatility of it is average. I would say above average, because on this machine, I would only recommend sharpening flat beveled scissors. They say you can use this to sharpen the convexing shears, like the low end ones, but I wouldn't recommend it. So I did buy a convexing clamp as an upgrade. I still don't sharpen the convexing shears, but I use this to sharpen flat on bevel shears, and I'll show you why I actually did that. One of the best upgrades I did so far. So I put a red line to act as my indicator if I'm hitting the whole bevel or not. And then with the machine off, I place the scissor up to the wheel, and I use the polishing wheel to move it up. So you can see I'm hitting like the very tip of it, like right here. So that's where this is. So instead of adjusting this angle all the time, I found this really cool trick where you come up here, and it does take time to adjust it up and down. So with a convexing clamp, you put a dime piece here, and then you just hold pressure, and then you slowly just do your same test again. Okay, I'm going a little bit higher. And then you just move your dime in there deeper, and that will actually bring the angle down. So this feels really good. And you can see how I hit almost the entire bevel. So not at the very tip. So we'll go one more time. And this is fantastic. So you just move the dime slowly in there. Check again. While maintaining pressure. And now you've hit the entire bevel. So one of the best upgrades I've done is buying this convexing clamp and then using just a dime to help with that. And now I have the angle. So much faster doing it this way than taking it off and to adjust it. So this is my micro adjustment that I came up with, but I wish there was more of a built-in system to just micro adjust when you want the correct angle. Durability. Like I was saying, this thing is 12 pounds. This is solid. You know, once you open it and you get your hands on it, this is high quality steel, high quality machining. Like everything is built great around it. And I love the way that it feels, and I know it's not going to break on me. Plus, they have an amazing warranty. So for whatever reason, if something doesn't break, they'll help troubleshoot it with you. And if they can't fix it, you can return it, and they'll work with you on getting the right parts and working on getting your machine up and running. And I don't know if this matters to a lot of people, but I do love how it's American made, and the build quality is fantastic on it. Also, the sound. This is extremely low sound right here. I don't even have to wear any ear pro. I still do, just to protect my hearing as much as I can. But if you don't have any ear pro, this is amazing. And I'll plug it in so you can see how quiet it is. So I'm not having any edited audio. Just turn it on. And that's it. The wheels do not wobble. This thing doesn't even vibrate. Like, this thing is amazing, and you can just hear how quiet it is. This is not me editing the sound at all. So I want to talk about little modifications I've done and upgrades I've done to this machine to make it more useful for how I sharpen. I did not like the 100 grit wheel. I thought it was too aggressive, and when you sharpen, you still have metal shavings from the scissors, and then the composite wheel is actually breaking down every time you sharpen. It's very small how it's breaking down, but you're still getting extra material flying off. So I did upgrade to a 350 grit CBN wheel from Woodturner's Wonders, and so far I love it. It's still coarse enough to help remove any damage and set the burr, but not low enough where I can overheat knives. And this is very easy to clean as well, so I'd highly recommend getting either a diamond or CBN wheel on your sharpener. I did buy extra clamps. So I did buy the convexing clamp, which was not cheap, and I also bought the wide mouth one. And the reason for the wide mouth is because it has a slot for chisels to fit in, and I've gotten a few requests to sharpen planer blades and chisels, and having this one works out so well for it. Like I said before, I did put a light on. Since it doesn't have one built in, this $12 sewing machine lamp works fantastic. Another upgrade that I did, so I have these orange levers here. This really helps making sure you can get a very tight clamp on the scissors and making sure your fingers don't cramp up as well. On the inside of the clamp, because I don't want the metal scissors touching the metal clamp, I did put some protective tape on the inside. It's a little bit of rubber tape, so it has some grip to it. It's non-abrasive and really helps clamp in the scissors and making sure you won't mar it when you sharpen. And on the back, I don't have any dust collection systems yet, so I did tape up the two exhaust holes with this frog tape to prevent any metal shavings going out in the back. I can contain all my metal shavings here on the sides, and I know where it's going. I don't want it shooting on the back wall. So I did tape up the back here just to prevent any extra shavings going where I don't want it. And I did remove the eye shields that came on with it. I noticed when I was sharpening, I kept hitting it and it just got in the way. Plus, I wear a full face respirator with built-in eye pro, so I just took that off. And I also took off the wheel protective covers because that took out another probably half an inch of usable room, especially if you had some weird scissors that you have to hit the side of the wheel. So I gave myself a little bit extra room on it. So finally, You guys know how I stand. Would I recommend this? And I still would, and because this is an amazing sharpener. It's built tough. It's going to last you a very long time. A lot of aftermarket companies make upgraded stuff for it, like the wheels, and it's fantastic. It's not the fastest machine. It still takes me about 5 minutes to sharpen. So as a professional, time is money. I had to raise my rates a little bit to equal out my hourly rate, because I can sharpen a knife in about a minute and a half. So within 3 to 4 knives, it takes me to sharpen 1 pair of scissors. So the cost difference isn't there. So that's why I had to raise my rates a little bit to offset how long it takes to sharpen scissors. So if there's a company out there that can make some sort of micro adjustment on this thing would be 10 times better. The website is a little confusing, but if you don't know what you want, if you know exactly the type of grinding wheel you want, if you want the Akami Gold or you want the professional model, and you know the difference between the polishing wheel, then it's very simple. But I didn't know what the difference was, and their customer service is amazing. So overall, I love this machine. I'm gonna keep it for a very long time, but I wish there was a micro adjustment on the angle guide. But overall, I love it. Again, you can use Vinny10 for 10% off your order. And thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.